Just another quick update for you. OSMI node license, recording this Saturday morning. It is Saturday the 15th of February, and we can see there are now just 9 licenses available for the current OSMI node. The cost is 15,000 OSMI token. I had some great questions from various people on my mailing list. One of those questions is, what the heck is a node? What is a node license? What is a node for OSMI? Essentially, OSMI as an AI requires a lot of computing power, and a node is the ability, it's a small piece of software that you install on your computer or on a remote computer, and that gives computing power to the OSMI network. So the more nodes they have, the more computing power that OSMI has. So it's decentralized. So rather than having OSMI a bit like ChatGPT, they would have a massive data center with loads of computers, but with OSMI this is distributed, it's decentralized, in that there are currently, actually if I come down to the figures here, we've got some live stats. So nodes online is 1,146. So there's 1,146 computers around the world that are giving up computing power to OSMI. So it's like having a single room with over 1,000 computers in, giving the computing power to create images, to give responses to people's questions in OSMI, and I'll show you a bit more of that in just a moment. Rather than just being in one room, they're all around the world. So far they've sold 1,345 licenses. Actually, they've not sold that many. There was 250 which were given to the development team as a reward for them. Every day there are OSMI tokens that are given as a reward to those node holders. So yesterday there were 603,068 OSMI tokens. So on average there was around about 1,270 nodes running. So they each received, if I come up here, 468.95. I predicted it to be 470, so I was only just one out. So if you joined and started operating your OSMI node 4 days ago, so this is my daughter's account, so it makes it easier to demonstrate what's happening here. So on the 11th of February, you'd have received 482, 12th of February 477, 13th of February 474 OSMI tokens, and yesterday 468. Now you'll notice also as well that this number is gradually falling, just a small amount each day. And that's because as more node operators come online, then by sharing the total number of daily distribution over more node operators, then it's essentially slightly less each day. So there's 2 ways of viewing that. Firstly, you want to make sure that you get in earlier rather than later. If you're going to make a decision and say, I want to run a node, then don't delay, because there are slightly less being given out, purely because, well, not purely because, but mainly because there are more node operators. So as more nodes are sold, then each person gets a slightly smaller amount because it gets divided up. There's more pieces to the pie. That doesn't mean that this is unprofitable and it's going to instantly drop or anything like that. There is within the light paper, there's a full explanation of how the tokens are being distributed, and they'll still be distributing tokens in 10 years from now. It's just the numbers will be less and the number of node operators will be more. But if this is a really successful project, the other thing to bear in mind is that the value of the nodes, the tokens themselves can increase. In fact, if we look at the last 7 days, the value of the OSMI token has gone up 35%. So 7 days ago, before the node sale started, 9th of February, it was 19.9 US dollar cents. It's now 26.5 US dollar cents. And that is because more and more people are starting to hear about OSMI. They're seeing the value in the project. They're buying the tokens. Essentially, when people buy, when there are more buyers than sellers, price goes up. When there are more sellers than buyers, price goes down. If we go back and look at the full chart, so we can go back to November. That's when it started on the cryptocurrency markets, and you get huge volatility when you've got a brand new project because no one knows quite where to value that. So you also had your first node sale. So if you were buying OSMI token at 18 cents, then by the time of the first sale finished, which only took 5 hours because there's a huge demand there, it rose to 43 cents. After that, it settled back. Not a huge variation there. You're only talking 27 cents down through to the low of 18 cents again, but now back up to 26 cents. Very, very early stages of the project though, so absolutely no guarantees. I'm not saying this is a guaranteed way to make money. It depends if you believe in the project and what they're doing, and if so, this could get mass adoption, in which case at the moment there's only a few hundred people even know about OSMI. But once this becomes really popular, if we look, yeah, we've got a number of holders here. We've got 798 holders. So there's only 798 wallets that actually own OSMI tokens. So if you compare that, let's go and do a quick comparison. Let's go with Gala. And we'll look at the number of wallet holders for Gala. So if we have a look here at coincarp.com and we look at Gala token, Gala coins, we can see, and this is part of the beauty of cryptocurrency, everything is transparent. So Gala holder statistics. So there's 225,000 Gala holders, so that's in 225,000 different accounts, which again, if you compare that, so the development team, why am I using Gala as an example here? The development team at OSMI are also employees and ex-employees of Gala. So that's why it's an interesting comparison. They know very well what has happened and continues to happen at Gala and cryptocurrency and how that works. And again, that's part of, for me, a confidence in OSMI and the development team. So again, just looking back at OSMI, only, well, less than 1,000 holders compared to 225,000 at Gala. So if we end up with 225,000 holders of OSMI, then that could become you know, very, very popular cryptocurrency. Like I said, hardly anyone knows about this at the moment. And I know as you're hearing this information, you're thinking, well, why does nobody know about this? It's a startup project, and you need to be in the right place to find out about this. And I happened to be in the right place and was listening carefully and seeing what the development team were doing, and that's why you know about it as well. So again, we've got to look at, well, what makes OSMI different as an AI assistant from all the others? Well, ChatGPT is my preferred use of AI assistant. It's one of the first ones out there. I pay $20 a month for mine. And what can I help you with? Let's try this. Draw a picture of Putin speaking with Donald Trump at an international summit. This is in the news this week, where Donald Trump was having a telephone call, or wants a telephone call, to try and solve the Ukraine situation. So if we put that in ChatGPT, it tells us I can't create images of real-world political figures. And this is due to censorship, it's control, it's bias. It's something that, you know, AI promises to be, well, it's called open AI. It's supposed to be an open. What's wrong with, I'll put it this way, what's wrong with creating an image showing Putin and Trump having a conversation? I know how it can be abused in terms of fake news, but that's going to happen anyway, and it already is happening in lots of places, and therefore as users and humans we need to be very discerning in things like that. But there's nothing stopping a really good artist from creating this figure, so why should ChatGPT restrict this? Now if we go to OSMI, which is uncensored, and I put the same prompt in there, so draw a picture of Putin speaking with Donald Trump at an international summit, let's see what this produces here. Now this is unrehearsed, so it may come up with some weird image. You can try OSMI out yourself as well. Go to chat.osmi.ai. It's a live AI assistant. You click on the image tab if you want a picture, and you click on the text if you want to just give it a challenge for text. But AI is utterly revolutionizing the way we work as humans. And there you go. That is a pretty good picture of Putin and Trump speaking at an international summit. Let's just try and get that, open that in a new tab, just to make it a bit bigger for you to see on screen. So that's what OSMI has produced. OSMI is a small development team, hardly known by anyone. Do you think that that's going to gain popularity? A chat assistant, an AI assistant that can create images like that. This is just the start. This is just a flavour of where it's going. So if you can see the potential in that, you might be as excited as I am, thinking, actually, OSMI has a really bright future. Absolutely no guarantees. Mass adoption may not happen, in which case OSMI as itself, as a project, will probably collapse and fall flat on its face. However, my personal opinion is I don't think that's going to happen. When you look at this result so early on, compared to ChatGPT that's now worth billions, I think OSMI, currently a tiny market cap company, if we look at it, it's number 3,755 of all the cryptocurrencies in the world that exist on CoinMarketCap. Market cap only $26 million. If you compare that with, let's have a quick look, if I can find it, ranking, let's go and find AI. So if we have a look at the AI sector, so top AI and big data tokens, so the biggest one is number 31 in all the cryptocurrencies, called Near Protocol. Then you've got Internet Computer at number 36, Bitensa number 37. But you look at the market capitalization of these, 4.1 billion, 3.4 billion, 3.2 billion, 2.4 billion, 2.2 billion. You know, that is 5 AI projects that between them are worth around about $15 billion in market cap. Again, OSMI, 26 million. The potential for expansion on this is absolutely huge. So even if you can't afford a node, and I get that, nodes are expensive. They're $4,000. They're about to go up by another $100 any moment now. There's only 6 left now as I'm recording this video. I think that was 9 at the start of the video, wasn't it? So these are going up in price. Once those 6 are gone, they are expensive. 4,000. I get it. It's $4,000. What you've got to bear in mind partly, though, is don't always look at the price, look at the value. If you could, try and use a quick analogy, if you could buy a car for $4,000, but then the company you buy it from give you money back every day, so it's a bit like a cashback purchase, but if they gave you cash back such that in 40 days they'd actually given you the same amount that it cost you to buy the car, but they carry on giving you cash back every month, every day after that. So the analogy works possibly better. Let's say you bought a car that was used as a taxi and you paid for that taxi, but someone else drives it, but you take a share of the revenue every time someone's driving that taxi. So if it's an Uber taxi, you invest in the car, costs you $4,000, someone's driving that car on your behalf. Well, they're a taxi driver, so that's OSMI, that's the AI assistant. So you own the car, you own the node, which by the way is an NFT, so you can sell that later on as well if you wanted to, especially if this project really takes off. You're spending $4,000 on the node. Not only are you getting daily rewards, but your value of your node itself could go up, because if these daily rewards, let's say OSMI token goes up 100-fold from where it is at the moment, rather than making $100 a day at the moment, that would be worth $10,000 a day if OSMI token goes up 100-fold from where it is at the moment. And that is, I think, feasible. That would give it a 2.5 billion market valuation, which is not as big as the biggest AI cryptocurrency. So it's feasible, it's possible. Is it likely? Probably not, but is it possible? Yes. So that could be making for you as a node $10,000 a day. What do you think that node would be worth to someone else if they could buy that from you? So you might have a node that you're buying for $4,000 today that you could sell. If it's making $10,000 a day, someone might be willing to pay 100 times what the daily returns are. And I've lost track of how big that is. So there's that on that front. So going back to the taxi analogy, that's what I was trying to explain. So you own this node. It's like owning a car. You then rent that out to someone else who is a taxi driver. So you don't drive the taxi. With this node, I don't have to work to operate my node. It's just there on a computer, and that is doing the work for me. It's providing computing power to the network. So as I've purchased a taxi. I've got someone else driving the taxi. They take their share because they charge a fee for every time they do a taxi service. But I'm also getting a percentage of that profit effectively. This is my analogy. This is not exactly what's happening because we're talking digital AI nodes and things like that, but trying to give a real world analogy. So I've bought the car, that's being rented out to the taxi driver. So the taxi driver is paying me $100 a day because he couldn't afford to buy the car. So he's paying me $100 a day plus a percentage of the profits that he's making. He's happy because he's making, let's say, $200 a day for driving his taxi. He's paying me $100. He's making $100 a day, but he's been able to get a car from me that he's using rather. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but that's one that's just sort of sprung to mind. But again, coming back, there's a great image. You saw it being generated live on OSMI. Like I said, have a play with it yourself, chat.osmi.ai. And then if you want to buy a node, and I've got all the instructions that show you how to buy the node, how to then operate the node on a remote computer. So I've got the videos for that on the page as well. And I can help you if you get stuck. Just reach out to me. I can certainly help you on that too. I think that gives enough summary. It's enough of me waffling on, but hopefully that gives you a bit of a better picture of what's happening with OSMI and its potential in this massive revolution of AI. And what better way to get involved than be part of it. Oh, the other thing, very, very finally, briefly, even if you can't afford the node license, then why not buy some OSMI token themselves? As you can see, in the last 7 days, up 35%. It allows you to effectively support the project without owning a node. Obviously, you won't benefit as much as being a node holder, because a node holder, you get extra token every day rather than just having to buy the token as a one amount and so on. But again, here we can see community sentiment. 99% are bullish, 1% are bearish on OSMI. So everything's looking good there. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you on another video soon.